Have you ever heard of Lonnie Dawson and the Philly Black Mafia? He's a true OG. Back in 1982, he was pinned with a massive 22-count federal case. Well, he was freed after 43 years serving time.
The infamous Black Mafia was involved in extortion, murder, drug trafficking, and embezzlement in the predominantly African-American sections of Philadelphia.
Philadelphia's Black Mafia is a fascinating group. They began, by most accounts, in the early to mid-1960s.
Welcome to Grim World. I'm your host, Devin Roberts. Lonnie Dawson has been freed. You may have already seen his release on social media, where you see an older dude stepping out of the federal prison gate. Well, times have changed, as he now recognizes. He stepped out wearing a dark jacket and pants, a cap and gown, a fully grown out white beard, making him look weathered and perhaps a little bit wiser. He walks out slowly, then you see his family and friends rush up to embrace him and welcome him back to a life outside of prison. No signs of him talking, but a definite feeling of, let's get the hell out of here, as he kisses the cement ground. So if you don't know who Lonnie Dawson is, I'm about to break it down. So much time has passed since the Black Mafia has run amok in Philly. Lonnie Dawson actually goes by Abdul Salim now. You see, he converted to Islam while he was locked up, like so many other inmates do.
Making the Hajj as one of my goals, I will be successful.
The prison doesn't track religious identity, partly because it's so fluid.
He was a well-respected player in the Philadelphia black market back in the day, known as a straight-up boss to all the outsiders, but in reality, the Mafia was pretty loose, and after all these years have passed, exact titles and hierarchies have been lost, as you can imagine. I mean, it's the truth, right? You can be the top dog back in the day, but once a few decades pass, your reputation has been pretty much erased. It's just the way it is.
Notorious mafia ever in the United States history. The Black Mafia, 1973, the Black Mafia Ball.
Now, according to all the court documents, Abdul Salim was indicted on June 23rd, 1982. And as mentioned earlier, this was a massive 22-count federal case. The case involved everything the Black Mafia ever really did, including Abdul Salim and the Black Mafia pushing heroin into the streets, running coke down the block, introducing meth to young teens. The Black Mafia ran an organized criminal outfit known for holding it down and dealing drugs of all sorts. Now in the 80s, they used phones and pagers to set up all the drug deals. There was no Onion browser or anything like that. If someone threatened the Black Mafia's livelihood, they would go to great lengths to even scare off witnesses, which led to civil rights violations, as you can imagine. Back on October 29th, 1982, Abdul Salim was convicted of most of these crimes, and he was actually given a 134-year sentence. However, an appeal knocked his sentence down to only 65 years in prison. This was 1985. He already served 43 years right before he got out on December 23rd, 2025, but he stuck to his guns. The word is that he actually passed on various parole officers in 2016 and 17 because the conditions they had arranged for him came across kind of bogus and not in his best interest. Various social media posts have jumped on the bandwagon with quotes such as, "Former Black Mafia boss Lonnie Dawson just got out after 43 years.
It makes you feel kind of good. Feel you could beat the world."
Technically, when his indictment happened on April 14th, 1982, he attempted to take out a federal snitch. Yeah, I presume we don't like no snitches in Philly. What you think?
All the boys in the gangs and things be fighting, running through the streets, shooting one another, and things like that there.
Back in 1969, the Philly Black Mafia made their presence and name known throughout the city's black neighborhoods. Have you ever heard of Samuel Christian? Well, he kind of ran the show back then. They were heavy into drugs, robberies, gambling, and all sorts of violence.
Well, I feel very bad about if one of my boys was to get hurt. You know, we had to go down and try and hurt the ones that hurt him.
The Black Mafia, also known as Philadelphia Black Mafia, PBM, Black Muslim Mafia, and Muslim Mob, was a Philadelphia-based African-American organized crime syndicate.
So then after that night, we had a thing.
The organization began in the 60s as a relatively small criminal collective in South Philly, known for holding up neighborhood crap games and dealing in the illegal drug business, but at its height of operation in the early 70s until about the early 80s, it managed to consolidate power and control a large portion of criminal activity in various African American neighborhoods throughout Philadelphia, also Delaware Valley, South Jersey, Atlantic City, and Wilmington, as well as a few other cities. Now, in addition to drug trafficking, burglary, and armed robbery, the Black Mafia was also engaged in traditional organized crime activities such as political corruption, extortion, racketeering, prostitution, loan sharking, number running, and other illegal gambling rackets, allegedly formed in September 1968 by Samuel Christian, who later adopted the name Suleiman Bey under the Nation of Islam. The Black Mafia was heavily involved in a large part of drug trafficking in Philadelphia during the 70s, with heroin being the most trafficked drug. Christian, a former Black Panther with an extensive arrest record, was an imposing man, about 5'10", described as a thick-necked, powerfully built 215-pound bully. Additional founding members included Ronald Harvey, Henry Dabney, Richard Porkchops James, Donald Donnie Day, Clyde Apples Ross, Robert Bop Daddy Fairbanks, Craig Heist Jones, Walter Hudgens, Robert Nudie, Mims, amongst the others. Many of the original members eventually became Nation of Islam members or converted to Islam, giving the organization the nickname of the Muslim Mafia or the Muslim Mob. All in all, the Philadelphia Black Mafia has been linked to over 40 ruthless killings. One of their most remembered includes the awful Hanafi Massacre in D.C., 1973, where 7 folks, even kids, got murdered. The Black Mafia embraced Muslim vibes from day one, but as you can imagine, the real Islamic organizations wanted absolutely nothing to do with them, as they were crazy-ass criminals. You see, the Philly Black Mafia wasn't all that cool, really. They preyed on their own damn communities, in effect making circumstances for everyone in the area dramatically worse. The feds had a plan and cracked down on the Black Mafia in the 80s. They locked most of them away, which included your boy Lonnie Dawson, or Abdul Salim. More social media reactions include "Still got that king energy," referencing to how he held up in prison and stood strong. I mean, can we blame him on his faith and discipline? Some people really don't care and say things like, "Why glorify dudes who wrecked their own hoods?" I mean, I could agree with that one, but maybe he now has a plan on how to give back to the community who he once stripped and robbed. I mean, let's never judge a book by its cover, right? I don't know. The Black Mafia's ruthless trail of destruction ultimately came to an end. Yeah, it still sparks debates about Islam in prisons. Perhaps finding Islam brought structure and faith in Abdul Salim and helped turn him around. This is like a typical textbook story regarding the war on drugs, remember that? Which took place in the 80s across America.
I do coke so I can work longer, so I can earn more, so I can do more coke.
Drugs are menacing our society. They're threatening our values and undercutting our institutions. They're killing our children.
Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
We've taken strong steps to do something about this horror.
Criminals were all given 10, 20, and even 30-year sentences for their drug crimes and activity. This pumped up mass incarceration, raising obvious concerns. I mean, on one hand, you have the punishment, which is given without even thinking twice. But as years go by, you ponder to yourself, what exactly is the system doing to help these OGs change for the better? I'm not sure about your past life, Abdul Salim, but I'm willing to look into your future and hope the best for you and yours. I don't hold a grudge. You came back home to a world that is driven by social media. I would suggest just ignoring all this crap. His quiet moment of coming home back to his family and settling in at home got twisted and turned into this crazy event online. Black Mafia OG coming home, we read. And as you know, as well as I do, that most of these people dropping these comments about him online don't really know shit about street life and serving up a mother. What did Lonnie have on the line back then? Everything. Survival.
Come around and get the rest of the gang. So we went around, I went around there. So I told him, we went around there, I looked back, I seen JB laying with the food.
Fully trenches, fully trenches, fully trenches. Philadelphia Black Mafia.
Yeah, sure, he's out. He walked free. I see people mentioning justice and the legal system, but I mean, damn, the damage is done. Good luck on your second chance in Chi-Town, my G. You're listening to Grimworld, the only channel that covers real stories like these. Please subscribe and check out our Spotify. I'm out.